the questions to keep myself aligned. Waste away the hours doing what I should, knowing that my soul tells me it's not for my own good.
All right. So this morning, I want to talk about being a warrior. What does that even mean? What does it mean to be a warrior? So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Just sitting here with my coffee again, enjoying my morning CBD coffee. I love this coffee in the morning. I have to say, it's like the best thing ever. It really gives me a kick in the butt. Okay. So some of you may have seen the post that I put up yesterday. I liked this saying, this quote, and it was, I don't want to get to the end of my life and find out that I just lived the length of it. I want to live the width of it as well. So that's so true, right? You don't want to just exist in this life and just say, okay, I made it to the end. You want to be able to experience everything that's going on and what life has to offer. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of people here to just jump on. I can see that someone's on there. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of people to jump on now. And hi, good morning, Alexander. And just going to give this a couple of minutes. I am a couple of minutes early, so I'm just going to wait for a few minutes. And this is, for those of you that are joining me for the first time, hi, Jenny. I try to come on around 8 o'clock every morning and just sort of start your day off with some inspiration, some tips and strategies for doing some self-healing, just to inform you on some things just to make your life better. You know, the whole idea is to be able to live to our potential, right? To be able to live to our potential. So, once again, I'm just going to read this quote again before I get started because I really like it. And it's written by someone called Diane Ackerman. And it says, I don't want to get to the end of my life and find out that I just lived the length of it. I want to live the width of it as well. Right? And that is so true. Okay, that is so true. It's about taking control of your life and not just being a victim to it. Knowing that you have all the control. You need to be driving that car. All right. So I'm going to say something. I'm going to put out there a couple of phrases here, and I want you to really sort of search inside and tell me, how do these phrases make you feel? Honestly make you feel inside. If I said to you, you are whole, you are powerful, and you are divine. Okay? You are whole, you are powerful, and you are divine. So do these words, when I say them to you, do they feel like they ring true for you? Or are you feeling like you've got some self-judgment going on, like I'm really not all that powerful? I don't know if I'm all that divine. Okay. So when I say these words to you, right? You are whole, you are powerful, you are divine. How does that make you feel? Right? Does that empower you, or does that fill you with self-judgment and doubt? Okay. So that's what you want to know about those words. And if you're feeling self-judgment and doubt, it's time for some inner evolution. All right. It's time to start an inner evolution. So I've got some questions for you. I've got 4 questions that I'm going to ask you. And I want you to sort of answer them within yourselves and really be true. I mean, you can't lie to yourself. Okay. So number 1, the first question is, do you feel deep down that you are good enough? If you want to write your answers in the comments and the questions, or in the comments, I'd love to hear them. But if you want to just keep this to yourself, of course, it's about self-healing, right? So do you feel deep down that you are good enough? All right. That's awesome, Jenny. I'm glad that you feel empowered. That's the way you should feel. 2, do you love and honor yourself with every fiber of your being? Do you love and honor yourself with every fiber of your being. Okay. The third question I'd like you to ask yourself, do you struggle with owning your power and your passion? Do you struggle with owning your power and your passion? And fourthly, could you use more joyful play in your life? Could you use more joyful play in your life? All right. The interesting thing about joy is that joy is in the moment. Joy is right now. We've become a society of multitasking and getting so much stuff done that we have lost our joy. So joy is about right in this moment. It is not about 5 seconds ago. It's not about 10 seconds from now. Joy is right now. So, we need to bring joy into the things that we do all day long. So if you answered yes to even 2 of the questions, then it's time for us to start an inner evolution. Yes, if we don't love ourselves, who will? Love self first, others will do the same. Absolutely correct, Jenny. That is absolutely right. And a lot of people say those words, but they actually don't know what they mean. I believe that you do, but people say those words and they become words, right? They're just words on a page. It's like when people talk about law of attraction or don't say those negative things. They're just saying that. They actually don't even know why they're saying that. Okay. So, why are you don't want to say negative things? What will it do if you do? What will the consequences be? Right? If you don't love yourself, what are the consequences of that? So it's like the word God, right? Like the word God. I'm not going to turn this into a religious thing because I'm not religious, but the word God is it's an overused word. We have lost the concept of that energy, of that power, because we just use it and it's so overused that it's lost its power as a word, right? That word has a lot of power, right? It shouldn't be a word that we just helter-skelter throw around, right? So love is also, those words have power, they have meaning, right? So it's about understanding the meaning of those words and not just saying them because you're just quoting something that you've heard 1,000 other people say, okay? So we've been trained to find our wholeness and our value and to find love through others, right? So we are finding our love through other people. We look to others to love us, right? Oh, I found this guy that I'm going to marry him and he's going to make me happy and he's going to love me. That is an awful lot of power to give to somebody. All right. That's a lot of power to give to somebody because today they could love you and make you happy a little bit. And tomorrow they could love you and make you happy a whole big bunch. And the next day they might not love and make you happy at all. So that is an awful lot of power to give to someone else. So where is this love and happiness supposed to be coming from? Right? The love and happiness is supposed to be coming from inside of you. And this is what you share. Think of yourself as a tree, right? You're a tree and the first people in your lives, they're other trees, right? You're not standing in their shadow, right? You're a tree, they're a tree. The roots are all the stuff that you guys share, the love, the understanding, the compassion, the friendship, the loyalty, all of those wonderful facets of being in a relationship. But each one, you need to be you. You need to love yourself. This tree doesn't depend on this tree to grow. Okay? So, don't be smart. Don't let the tree be smarter than you, right? So, this tree doesn't need this tree to grow. This tree doesn't need this tree to have power, right? They have everything that they need within them, and so do we. Okay? We just think that we don't. We've been trained that we don't, but we absolutely do. Okay? We were told that a family will complete us. Get married, have children, buy a dog, get a white picket fence. That's going to complete you. Those are nice things those are things that you want. Those are things that are not things that you need. You need water, you need shelter, you need food. Okay? Those are things that you need. You don't need to have anything else The rest of the things in your life are because you want them, because they're going to enrich who you want to be, your path, your purpose. They're not going to make you or break you. Okay. So you need to understand, do I have these things because I need them, or do I have these things because I want them? When my marriage was on like the outs, I remember my husband coming up to me and saying, listen, if we just have a child, everything will be okay. We'll fix this. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Why would I bring a child into a situation where I am not happy? Why would I do that to another being when I don't want to be here, right? So but people do that. They're like, yeah, maybe that'll bring us together. We're looking for things for happiness outside of us. And sometimes it's at the expense of another human being. Okay. So we have to look at those things. All right. Today we are worthy if we have a successful career. Again, a successful career is something that you want, right? Well, how do you measure your success? Are you doing what you want to be doing? Or are you just doing something so that you can pay the bills, right? So what are you doing? Are you on your path and purpose? Are you doing what brings you joy and happiness in your life? Are you doing what's expected of you? Because expectation and obligation bring resistance. Okay, so it's, are you doing it because you want to do it, or because people are making you do it, or because you feel forced to do it, or because you feel obligated to do it? You need to start looking at your life. This is your life. Are you living the width of it or the length of it? You need to decide what you're doing with your life. Okay. It's time to evolve from being and focus on our inner selves, right? So what I'm trying to say here, sorry, I know what I'm trying to say. I wrote this really late. So what I'm trying to say is it's time to be not other focused, like focused on other people, and start to be focused on inner focusing. So we're always focused on outer focus. It's time to be on inner focus, right? So focusing within yourself, right? You can have everything in the world, but if you're not happy within, none of that will matter. Okay. None of it will matter, because you're just gonna be wearing a mask and pretending you love your life, and you probably don't. Okay. So you need to pay attention to that. It's time to begin to understand who you are on the inside, not who we wish we were. And then we can begin our transformation. All right. Most of us can tell somebody in a heartbeat who we're not. I'm not enough of this. I'm not enough of that. I'm not this. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not, I can't do this. I can't do that. Like, we can tell people in a minute who we're not. Right. But now think about the people that you love in your life. Okay. If I was to ask you to tell me 15 things right off the top of your head, what you love about them, how long would it take you to be able to tell me that? Right? How long would it take you to tell me what you love about the people in your life? Now, if I asked you to tell me 15 things right off the top of your head that you love about yourself, what would those things be? Maybe you could tell me one or two things. I love where you're going, Jenny. You could tell me one or two things, but, could you tell me 15 really fast without humming and hawing? As fast as you did the people in your life, right? But you could tell me pretty quickly, I think, what you don't like about yourself. That's most people. All right. I'm not saying every single one of you that's listening, but that is most people. All right. So warrior energy, having that warrior energy, is really about focus and dedication and purpose and determination. To have these things for yourself. All right. So focus, dedication, purpose, and determination. And you bring all of these together, and that gives you power, right? That gives you power, confidence, clarity, as well as being fully present in what you do. Okay. You want to be fully present in what you do, because to have a lack of focus, no dedication, really no purpose and path, and just kind of doing what you got to do, and no determination to live the life that you want to live, what is that going to do? The absolute opposite. It's going to make you feel powerless. All right. It's going to make you feel powerless, and you're going to end up with resentment. Okay. So you need to understand this stuff about yourself, because our life in this body is not that long. Even if you live to 100 years old, in the grand scheme of things, that is not a long time. So you want to make the most out of this life and to be a warrior. Okay. So it's time to live joyful self-acceptance, self-respect, and to listen to your deep inner wisdom. That voice, not that voice, the voice that's deep inside you. It's not even really a voice. It's more of a feeling. It's a knowing. It's a sensation. It's images that come up in your mind. That's how it talks to you. It's that gut voice that always tells you the right thing to do, but you don't listen. It's quiet. All right. It's not loud like the one in your voice. It's not abusive like the one in your head. Right. So this one is quiet. And it's that voice that you've heard so many times before. We call it intuition, right? It's that voice that says, hey, maybe you should do this. But you go, no, I'm going to do that. And then everything goes wrong and you turn into a big drama. And then you go, man, I knew I should have done this. So it's about starting to listen to that inner voice and do it right the first time. Okay. It's time to give up your false beliefs and your self-limiting stories. So what are you telling the world about yourself? What are you saying? All right. Our story is our story. I've said this 1,000 times. Our story is our story, and the story never changes. Okay. If things happen to you in your life, they happen to you. It doesn't matter how you tell the story. That stuff still happened to you. Okay. Those things are facts. They don't change. Okay. But how do you tell your story? Right? Are you a victim of that story? This happened to me, and then that happened to me, and I don't know why everything happens to me, and then this happens to me, and I'm suffering from this, and I have that. And is this how you tell your story? Or do you tell your story that, I wouldn't change one thing that ever happened to me, right? I wouldn't change one beating, one night of sleeping on the street. I wouldn't change one thing in my life, because all of those things give me the passion and the desire and the power to do what I do. Right? But my story didn't change. Whatever happened to me in my life happened to me in my life. But what do I do with that story? What do I do with that information? What do all those things mean? Right? So everything that we go through in our lives, there is a lesson to be learned in it. We're so caught up in the emotion of it that we forget that there was something to be learned. Okay. We don't need the emotion piece. We need to know, what did we learn? What did you learn? Okay. And how is that going to empower you in the rest of your life? All right. So it's about, how are you going to tell your story? Are you going to be a victim of your story, or are you going to be the hero of your story? It's your choice. Okay. It is your choice. You can sit there and hum and haw about it, or you can do something about it. That's the transformation. All right. Do your stories energize you or pull you into feelings of being victimized or feeling helpless or defensive? So when you tell your story to people, and we all do it, how do those stories make you feel? Right? How do those stories make you feel? Deep down inside, right? Those stories are important. Those stories tell a story about what you need to be doing. Okay. So here's the question. Is my story causing internal and external drama, or is it bringing me peace and fulfillment? All right. So what is your story that you tell people, that canned story that you tell people about you? What does it make you feel? All right. That's very important. All right. Especially if you remember what we talked about a few coffees ago, was about our belief system and what that does in our brain, and what it does to our hypothalamus, and what that feeds into our cells, right? What are we doing? Okay. Are you ready to give up who you think you should be in favor of who you are? Right? That's a really great question. So are you ready to give up who you think you should be to be in favor of who you are? Right? We live in a time where stress, self-loathing, self-abuse, and addiction are normal. Is that not the worst thing ever? Like, just saying that makes my skin crawl. We live in a time where self-loathing, stress, like not even self-hate. We've gone to self-loathing, okay? So self-loathing, stress, self-abuse, and addiction are normal. That is messed up, all right? Those things should not be in our lives. There should be no such thing as self-loathing. What is up with that? So Jenny is saying here, persistence, confidence, focus, strong, brave, self-determination. She's putting, I love your list, okay? Give opportunity to learn, adapt to new changes, creating stronger personality and characteristics. So I feel so much grateful. I feel so more grateful in everything that happens in my life. I feel gratitude to tell my story to the world. And that's how you should feel about your story. You should feel grateful for your story. You should feel awesome about your story. Your story should empower you. Okay. It doesn't matter what you went through. If you went through a childhood of self-abuse and sexual abuse and physical abuse, then you need to do the transformation that needs to happen and change your story. You can't change what happened to you, but let those things empower you. What did you learn? There was a reason why you went through that. Is it supposed to lead you to your path and your purpose? Should you be helping other people? What should you do with that? Okay? What can you do with your story? What can you do with what you've learned? Everything we learn is not what we study in school and get a certificate for. All right. So what did you learn? What has your life lessons taught you that you can maybe pay it forward? Do something for someone else. Change your story. Okay. Where sexual, physical, and mental abuse are prevalent. That's our society today. Where sexual, physical, and mental abuse are prevalent. Do you know why they're prevalent? And I'll tell you why they're prevalent. Let's talk about self-abuse for a second. I'm going to use an example that I use a lot. So a woman who gets abused by, let's say, a husband or something. We've all known one, or we've seen one in a TV show or something, okay, like a documentary or something. All right. And we're like, why won't she just leave? Why will she not just leave? He beats her every day, comes home drunk, beats the crap out of her, but she stays. Okay. Why? The kids are an excuse, okay? I'm staying for the children. That's a freaking excuse. If you loved your kids, you wouldn't keep them there, okay? So why is she staying? She stays because the abuse in her head, that self-abuse, is worse than the abuse that she is getting. So as long as what you're telling yourself is worse than what you're getting, then you've created a tolerance for bad behavior, like a playground for bad behavior, all right? Because you loathe yourself so much that you think you deserve that crap that you're getting. All right. So self-abuse, all right, makes that playground. So the more that you love yourself, so here's you loathing yourself, all right, then all of a sudden you start loving yourself, and that playground, that tolerance level, that place where people can treat you badly becomes very small. There is no tolerance for bad behavior. So why does that woman leave one day? She's like, all of a sudden she picks up her kids and goes. It's because now the person who was abusing her did something beyond that boundary, beyond the playground. So what they did was maybe they threatened to kill them for the first time, or maybe they hit the children for the first time. So they did something that was beyond what was in the playground. You follow me? So self-abuse, that racket in your head, doesn't do you any favor. So if people are treating you badly, you need to understand, what are you saying to yourself that makes that okay? That makes you tolerate that, and you're just saying, yo, not okay. Right? I think about how I used to let people treat me, and how those kind of people won't even come near me now. Right? Because I will shut that shit down in a second. It will not happen. Okay? So you have to try to understand, what are you allowing? Nobody can do anything to you unless you allow it. Okay. Why is sexual and physical and mental abuse prevalent? And I'll tell you why that's happening now. My version of that is, listen, if I'm in a really shitty place in my life and I want to feel powerful, I'm going to take it out on someone else, because having power over them might make me feel powerful. Right? Why would a grown-ass person beat a child? Like, are you kidding me? Because they can. Because they can. Because they feel so crappy and low self-loathing inside that they're just spreading that. Instead of spreading love, they're spreading loathing. Okay, so that's what they're doing. They don't respect themselves at all, so they don't respect anybody else around them. And then they call that love, and they tell people that they love them. Are you kidding me? Right? So how can you? How can you love them if you don't love you? That makes no sense whatsoever. Love is a word we throw around. We just throw it around like, like it just gets thrown around like a deck of cards with no meaning. All right? The other thing is, it's time to find out who you really are and what you really want. Okay, you don't start figuring that out tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Life is now, right? Life is in this moment, right? Why do you try to figure out what you're going to do tomorrow? How about what you're going to do right now? Right? Our life is too short. Once again, we don't want to live the length of it. We want to live the width of it. Okay. Creating a life that reflects who you are on the inside. So look at your life. Is your life reflective of who you are on the inside? If your life is shit, take a look at who you are on the inside. If your life is not what you want it to be, take a look at who you are on the inside. We are mirrors. We are mirrors. Everything we feel on the inside reflects on the outside. Okay, so who are you? What life are you living? You can't blame anybody for that life. Nobody's doing anything to you. You choose everything. You choose everything. The point is to choose the good things, to choose the things that are right for you, that speak to you. All right. There's no one size fits all formula. You are each unique. You handle and process your life in different ways. So I can't say to everyone, do this, and this is going to work for you. All right. We are all unique. It's like a diet. A diet, one size fits all, doesn't work, right? Because we're all different. Our biology is different. How we process things is different. Like, so we are all different. We might be set up relatively the same, but we are all different and unique. Okay. So we need to understand that about ourselves as well. So it's never too late to become the real you. You are simply lost in the fog of triggers and self-limiting beliefs. That's where you're sitting, in this fog of self-limiting beliefs and triggers. So what you need to do is get those released and changed. Okay. You need to get someone like me or someone who knows how to do that for you and help you with that. Okay. So that's a very important thing, because those triggers and those self-limiting beliefs are causing havoc in all layers of you. Okay. You are simply lost. Okay. Got that already. You are ready to find unconditional love in yourself, self-acceptance, self-appreciation, and self-validation. Are you ready to find those things in yourself? You don't need someone else to tell you how beautiful you are. You should know that already. And I don't mean it like a conceited kind of like, I know how beautiful I am, right? So not kind of like that, although that's fun too. But like, if someone says to me, Aisha, you do a great job, with what you do, my consulting work with people, you do a great job. I always say, thank you. Of course. Thank you. But in my mind, I'm like, I know, because I know who I am, and I know what I do, and I know what I offer, because I know that about myself. Okay. Because I respect myself. If somebody was to walk up to me and say, you're a fraud, I'd be like, someone's a fraud, not me. Because I know who I am. Just because someone says something to me doesn't make it so, doesn't make it true. Okay, because I know who I am, right? Those words that go against who I am have no power with me. And I don't even let them upset me, because it's just not true. So I'm not going to upset myself about stuff that's not true. All right. If someone said hurtful things to me, I have enough love in myself, and I know who I am enough that most of those stuff is just gonna bounce off, unless they're a family member and they know what triggers to push, because our family that can be challenging. For the most part, it doesn't like, it's just like whoosh, gone. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right. So are you ready to find that unconditional love for yourself, self-acceptance, self-appreciation, and self-validation? All right. You don't need someone to tell you that you did a good job. You already know that. It's nice to hear those things. I'm not going to lie. It's nice to hear those things, but it's not important. Like, it's not like I have to hear it to know that I did a good job. You should already know that about yourself, right? Jenny, I love this morning. She's got so much stuff in here. Lots of comments. Hope you guys are reading them. This is awesome. I want to tell you what I think about you. All right. I think that you are whole. You are valued and you are loved. You are whole. You are valued and you are loved. Even if you don't feel that way right now, you are. Okay. You are those things. You just need to find those things in you. Okay. If they're there. All right. They are there. You are loved. You for sure are loved. Okay. Because I can see your wholeness. I know your value. I love everybody just the way they are. I accept everyone for who they are in that moment. Even if they are lost in the fog, I still love them because things happen to people and they just need to find their way out. I know I did. Okay. I was really lost. I was so lost in the fog. I didn't think I'd ever find my way out. Okay. And the minute you can feel these things for yourself, you find the path of the warrior. All right. And that's a great path to be on. So this is another sort of quote that I found, quotes, short poem. I don't really know what to call it, but it's time to really commit to yourself. So this was written by someone called Rochelle Goodrich, and it says, don't ever give up. Don't ever give in. Don't ever stop trying. Don't ever sell out. And if you find yourself succumbing to one of the above for even a brief moment, pick yourself up, brush yourself off, whisper a prayer, and start where you left off. But never, ever, ever give up. I loved that. I'm going to say it one more time because I just want to drive it home. And it's don't ever give up. Don't ever give in. Don't ever stop trying. Don't ever sell out. And if you find yourself succumbing to one of the above for a brief moment, pick yourself up, brush yourself off, whisper a prayer, and start where you left off. But never, ever, ever give up. So I love that. So I've got a challenge for you. You know me, I love giving you guys challenges. So here's your challenge. Every day for the next 7 days, for the next week, every day for the next week, I want you to, when you look in the mirror every day, I want you to truly take a moment and see yourself. Our eyes automatically go to where we feel that we have flaws in ourselves. Okay? But I want you to truly see yourself. Notice the inner dialogue that you're saying. I want you to actually notice it. We repeat things over and over until we don't even know that we're saying them anymore. Okay? I want you to notice the inner dialogue that you're saying to yourself. What are you saying about yourself? What's going on with the inner chatter? Okay? I want you to really take notice of what you're saying to yourself. Remember the playground that I talked about? Okay? So what are you saying to yourself? Are you abusing yourself? Okay? Once you witness the negative voices, I want you to make some new choices. Okay, that rhymes. So once you notice the negative voices, I want you to make some new choices, okay? Instead of zeroing in on the places that you find that you have flaws, I'd like you to focus on yourself as a whole, okay? And start saying out loud the things that you feel good about. I have nice skin. My hair is shiny. I love the shape of my eyes, okay? I want you to start saying things about yourself, noticing the positive things that you love about yourself. Look at yourself as a whole and stop zeroing in on the parts that you don't like. All right? Start focusing in on yourself as a whole being because you are more than those pieces, okay? So, and I want you to start saying out loud to yourself You know, the things that you love. I love the shape of my lips. You know, I love the little wrinkles under my eyes because they're just signs of my experience in this world. Right? So just starting to notice the things that you love about yourself. So that is the challenge for you, okay? Every day, notice something else. Every day, notice something else about yourself that you love, okay? And I want you to start saying these things out loud. Each day, repeat the items that you've said the days before. So if today you say, I love my hair because it's shiny, tomorrow you're going to be like, I love my hair because it's shiny and I love the shape of my eyes. The next day will be, I love my hair because it's shiny, I love the shape of my eyes, and I love that my lips are nice and full. Okay? So these are the things that I want you to say to yourself. Okay? I like that my teeth are straight. Okay, I got flaws. Hard to believe, but we all have them, right? I know what they are. I need to keep reminding myself, okay? So I want to focus on the things that make me feel good. Maybe after 7 days, you won't want to stop. This is something that you'll just want to go on and on and on and just keep on doing until that becomes the chatter in your mind, until that becomes the thing that you say to yourself every time you look in the mirror. Okay? If you have wrinkles, your wrinkles are the testimony to all of your experiences and all that you have learned in this lifetime. It's about reframing those things as well. Taking those wrinkles and taking them out of the frame that you put them in and putting them in a new frame. Okay? And that new frame is allowing those wrinkles to be a testimony to everything that you've experienced in this lifetime. Okay? Change the outlook on what you complain about in yourself. Change it. Take those things out of one frame and say, what is another frame how else could I see this? What is a positive way that I could look at this? Right? Take a moment and take that flaw and be like, how can I see this in a different way? Maybe it's not a flaw. All right? We just like to go there because it's easy. Okay? And then journal the wonderful things about yourself. Journal them. Write them down. There is something to be said for pen to paper, right? Write those things down about yourself. Change the chatter in your head. Okay, and that is my challenge to you. Start with 7 days. You might find that you don't want to end it there. You just want to keep on going and start changing that voice in your head and stop abusing yourself and start validating and appreciating and loving yourself. And letting your eyes go to the things that you love about yourself first rather than to these other places that just makes you start your day in a shitty place. Okay, so that is some warrior training today. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it and have a fantastic day. And I thought that this was going to be a short live today, but not so much. But that's okay because I got the information out that I wanted to get out. So have a great day. I do love you all. I do find value in you all. And I think that you all are awesome. And even if you can't see it in yourselves, I'm going to love you whether you want me to or not. So have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Look at my reflection in the mirror. I see that it's not the person who lives inside of me. Done with all the fear and doubts, the negativity. I'm shedding all the crap right now. I'm stepping